coaches. This whiteboard segment will cover some aspects of shooting. The first point is up, not out. That means when you're teaching your players to shoot, you want to tell them to shoot the ball up in the air, not out toward the basket. Remember, if the ball's on a line drive, going in the neighborhood of the rim, it's going to have a lot less chance to go in if it's on a line that way, as opposed to a ball that is shot softly and shot up in the air with some arc. You're going to get a much better result and much higher percentage of shots going in when the ball is shot up in the air instead of out. Number two, aim for what? And you can ask your players, what are you aiming for when you shoot? And you're going to get an array of answers that will amaze you. You'll get, I aim for the backboard, I aim for just the general vicinity. Be very specific with your players and tell them, you want to aim for the middle of the front of the rim from wherever you're at. So if you're in the front, let's say from the free throw line area, just in front of the rim, just aim for the middle of the front of the rim, and you try to shoot it right over top of the middle of the front of the rim. If you're off to the side of the court and shooting it maybe from the corner or a close corner, you're going to aim for the middle of the front of the rim from wherever you're at. So you're actually going to aim for the side part of the rim and shoot the ball high and soft over the middle of the front of that part of the rim. So aim for the middle of the front of the rim of wherever you're at. Now some coaches will say aim for the back of the rim. We say aim for the middle of the front, that's fine. But as long as they're aiming for something that is very precise and is not general, like the backboard or just somewhere up there, that is a very, very positive thing where players will remember that. They can take it home with them. They can practice in their driveway or practice on their own. But as long as they're aiming for something, again, very specific, that makes them a better shooter. Legs, legs, legs. Use your legs. Use your legs when you shoot. The shot does not come from the arms. It does not come from the upper body. The shot comes from the legs, and that's where the power is generated. Remember, the strongest part of your body is your core. So when you elevate, when you jump, when you shoot, when you pass, everything is generated from your legs and from your core. So if players are having trouble getting the ball up to the rim, don't tell them to use their arms or shoot it harder. Tell them to use their legs. Bend down more. Get low. Get lower. Get under the ball. Get under the ball when you shoot. Use your legs to bend down and get underneath the ball. Last point, encouragement. You're going to have players that are probably not going to make a shot all year during league play. In the games, maybe even in practices, they may never make a shot. That's okay. If you're teaching them the fundamentals of how to do it, and they'll remember and take it home, and if you make it fun for them, they'll practice their shooting all the time because they'll remember those little cues. Middle of the front of the rim, aim for something, middle of the front. Even first, second, third graders, they'll remember those kind of things. Makes them better players, makes them better shooters. Hey, everybody loves to shoot. Just remember these little important points right here to pass along to your players. They'll remember most of those things, and they'll really become good shooters because you'll make it fun and they'll want to go practice. Let's check out some of the shooting videos. This segment we're going to talk about shooting and a couple things you want to emphasize to your younger players. First of all, don't bombard these younger players with a lot of a checklist of 10 or 12 fundamental things they need to think about. One or two things maybe per practice without overloading them is what you want. The more touches and the more shots they get at practice, the better they're going to get and the quicker they will understand the importance of the technique because they will keep working on it, you'll keep working with them, and they are going to continue to get better because it is a process. Shooting is a process, and basketball development in general is a process. The main things you want to emphasize with younger players, some of them, most of them in first and second grade will shoot two-handed, and that's okay. Allow them to shoot two-handed. They don't have the strength yet to shoot a one-handed shot that high. They don't have the strength, they don't have the leg strength or the arm strength to do that. The ball is too big. Allow them to shoot two-handed, that's fine. But a couple things that are uniform, whether they're first grade, second grade, fourth grade, these points make no difference. You have to stay underneath the ball to be successful. In other words, the ball can't be out here too far away from their body. They have to keep the ball very much within their body framework. So as they go to shoot, you can emphasize, and this is for younger players especially when they haven't gotten a lot of shooting in yet, is to keep the ball close to their body, to use their legs, and to keep their dominant foot, if they're right-handed, to keep the right foot in front. If they're left-handed, keep the left foot in front. This again is more for when they're fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, and begin to shoot free throws and begin to shoot set shots and shots from further away from the basket. This is what's going to be important as to which foot they're going to have, which dominant foot is in front. It's going to be good for balance and everything else they do with regard to shooting. But for right-handers, which most of your kids will be, keeping that right foot in front, having them bend down underneath the ball, and being able to either target, keeping themselves square to the rim. They don't want to be shooting sideways like this. Make sure they square their body to the rim. Basically those 3 or 4 things are about all you need each practice to emphasize, especially with younger players. That's what they're going to remember. Okay, I got to stay low under the ball. I have to bend down. Whether or not they're actually thinking about what you're doing, if you can demonstrate that and they can see what you're doing, they'll copy what you do. In other words, if you're coaching and you shoot the ball like this, if you shoot it incorrectly, that's what your players will look at and they'll try to copy that because they'll think that's the right way to do it. But if you're bent down and you're under the ball, a lot of times you don't have to say stay under the ball. They'll watch you and watch how you do it. With this right foot in front, you'll be able to shoot the ball and they will copy what you do. Especially players that are very visual, which most younger kids are. With regard to shooting itself, once you begin with 3rd and 4th graders, talking about things other than layups, where they're going to be moving away from the basket and taking longer shots. Tell your players, in terms of a target, they want to aim for the middle of the front of the rim from wherever they are on the floor. So if they move a little bit to the right, they're going to be aiming for the middle of the front of the rim on the right side a little bit. But it's always going to be the center of the cylinder. And all you really want to tell your players is to make sure they shoot over top of the middle of the front of the rim from wherever they are standing. A nice, high, soft shot, again, using your legs and pushing up. If a lot of players will be short, like that shot was, emphasize with them, don't use your arms more, use your legs more. Get under the ball, shoot the ball high, shoot the ball soft. Again, younger players, you'll see a lot of that. You'll see balls that will ricochet off the backboard, ricochet off the rim. The emphasis again is using your legs and shooting the ball up and not shooting the ball out. This will pay off in the long run as they get to 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. You won't see a lot of dividends early with this out idea by not telling them to do that. Again, telling them to shoot the ball up. Not many of them will be able to do that, especially with one hand, but over time, this will be very beneficial to their development as shooters.